You know, we say this all the time, nature abhors a vacuum. So if those that have been entrusted by God with the authority to protect, to educate and protect young children, our children, and they don't use that authority to call for God's protection, then what happens is the shield of protection, the umbrella of protection that God is willing to place over a school, it's not there because they never ask for that. So that means that things can get through that maybe otherwise wouldn't get through because there's no shield. There's no protection. So as evil begins to ratchet up in a culture and more people try these kinds of things and they start probing the limits, they find that those are places where there's no protection. So, you know, people are kind of thinking that, well, you know, I went to school. We had no prayer in school. I was fine. Not realizing that what we've been doing, and here's the analogy I would use. You know, starting with our founding fathers and up through 1962, we accumulated a certain amount of moral and spiritual capital in this country because we shared these values. We publicly prayed to God. We acknowledged Him. We observed the wisdom and the values and the transcendent standards of the Ten Commandments. We understood the appropriateness of acknowledging God, our dependence upon Him. And we did that as a culture until 1962, until the Supreme Court said we couldn't, and we meekly complied to that unconstitutional ruling. Well, all during that time, we built up a very healthy store of moral capital. And what happened starting in 1962, we stopped adding to that supply of moral capital. We started eating it up. We started consuming it. We started chewing through that capital of moral and spiritual protection. And that's what we've been doing since 1962. And I would say after 50 years, we have just about consumed all of the moral capital that was left to us by our founders and the generations that followed them. We are now down to the bottom of the sack